Hey y'all, I'm so sorry about last night for Work at Wednesday. I was still having back spasms, so I did it from my bed and I did not record it. But lucky for you, I was able to get up this morning. I did finally take a shower, and I am going to do my Work at Wednesday on Thursday because we still have to work our business every single day. Last night was supposed to be completely on front loading. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that and talk about how do you front load your month. There's so many different things on ways to do this. Now, I am going to talk to you about how I front load my month and how I take care of my customers, and that way that also kind of feeds into how I front load my month. So one of the things is I always have a goal every single month of how much I want to sell. Like, what is my minimum? And I'll tell you what, I'm going to talk about mine and then I'll talk about what yours should be. My minimum every month is $2,000. Now, for the last 6 months, I have not hit my goal. I've hit over my 1,000, but I hadn't quite hit the 2,000. So what I did is I started working my business more intentional. And every time that I focus on my intention of having higher PRV, it always seems to work. And I don't know why we lose the focus or we lose the drive, but things happen in our business and happens in our life. So one thing is that if you are missing your goals, it's okay. Give yourself some grace. This business is not about you suck and you fail, you should quit. This business is always moving, always changing. We have to learn to pivot all the time in our business. And the reason why is because life happens. Our business happens. Our kids, our husbands, our spouses, our family, our friends, life happens. So we have to make sure that we do not just stop dead in our tracks, that we continue moving, even if it's in a slightly different direction. Front loading your month is basically making sure that your sales and your goal is obtained in the first week or two. So that means I want a minimum amount in the first week. That way I have more time to create content, to work on training, to be able to answer questions, because my focus is my business for the first part of the month. It needs to be focused on my business because my paycheck depends on my PRV. So my focus on the first couple of months or the first couple of weeks of each month depend on what I focus on in my business. Now, I'll still continue getting sales throughout the month and I'll still continue to message my customers, but I always try to make sure that I at least know I will hit a minimum of what my goal is every single month. So I told you my goal is 2,000. My goal is to be active on the first of every single month. And why would that be? Well, if my goal is 2,000 or more, so say that my goal is 3,000. We're going to work with easy numbers. 3,000 a month. That is $100 in sales every single day. Now, I did almost that last month. Now, I didn't hit the 3,000, but I definitely hit over my 2,000. So I always shoot a little bit higher, because if you shoot higher than what your minimum is, if you have to back off or slack off a little bit because life happens, you aren't far away from your goal. You may have missed it by a little bit, but my goal ultimately is the 2,000. I try my hardest to hit the 3,000 every single month. That means 100 PRV every single day. So that is my first goal, is I want to make sure I'm active on day one. Hitting active on day one gives me a check mark of what I've accomplished already for the month. Now, how do I do that? So right now with the fall and winter season, it's easier to have the active on the first part of the month because we have so many things releasing on the first day. Not only did I have 2 parties to close, I also had another individual order. So I made sure that they knew about what was releasing on the 1st. I made sure that I had money collected. I had everything set up in my workstation. So that way, whenever the time hit at 2 a.m. Central Standard Time on October 1st, I was available and ready to put that order in. Now, every single month, there's no guarantee that you will get every single product that you want, even if it's a catalog item, because if you wait until the 1st of the month and it was already released, it may not be there. So you want to make sure that you have your expectations of your customers, or for your customers. They need to know that there is no guarantee and that you'll be sending the money back of whatever you are not able to get. I make sure that I focus. Like, I have to have a dual focus. Not only am I selling the stuff out of the catalog, because the catalog is going to be there and we shouldn't run out of anything during the catalog months of August 1st to the end of January, because we're supposed to have those items in demand so we can order them at all times. Now, with the new items coming out weekly, along with the monthly releases of the holiday and the harvest collection, I have to split my focus. So I will make sure that there are posts showing the different pictures of the new stuff coming out, and then I still incorporate all the things that are still in the catalog. Like, my goal is to sell air purifiers because I absolutely love mine. I can talk about it. I can tell them all the little tips and tricks because I use it. So you have to make sure that your focus is primarily on what you need. And then you make sure that you throw in the extra stuff because you need to make sure that you're showing what your customers need. So I want to sell the air purifiers. I want to make sure that customers are aware of the value and the benefits of having one. Same thing for Scentsy Club. I want to make sure my customers who are consistently buying the same wax over and over, that they know they can get that in Scentsy Club. And then that way it saves them money. It also saves them the time of remembering to get on there, order it before they run out and they need wax now. That also stops them from having to run up to the box store to get the fake wax, the stuff that they buy that doesn't work as well. They're like, I put a whole bar in there and I only smelt it for a couple of hours. You want to make sure that they are not missing those times. That's why following up with your customers is also another way to front load your month. If you followed up with all of your customers and they're like, no, I don't get paid until the 21st. I don't get paid till the 28th. I get paid on the last day of the month. I get paid on the first day of the month. I get paid on the 10th of every month. Do you see where I'm going with that? Is that then you set up reminders to make sure that you are checking back with your customers around their payday. So that way you are like keeping them in mind. You are following up with them to make sure that they are taken care of. And if they're not ready at that time, it's no problem. Just ask them, when would you like for me to check back? So it's hard for me to tell you everything to do to make sure that you have a successful month. But I can tell you the different tasks that I'm doing and how I'm following up and checking with my customers. I have now started utilizing the calendar in my phone because my phone's with me all the time. I was writing stuff down. I was putting it over here. I was putting it over there. I want to be able to try to keep as much as I can in one spot because I am so ADD that I lose focus. I may really love using Trello and I still use it. I just don't always use it consistently the way I should. Now, that's a me thing. You may be on top of your Trello, so you don't have to worry about the follow-up system. But there's so many out there. If you're needing a template for Trello for your follow-up system, let me know. I'll send you one that the Jackie Duran has created and is amazing for you to be able to create a card for each one of your customers. Now, again, so we are focusing on all the time as catalog. But we want to throw in the LTOs. Now, some people are like, I don't like them. I don't want to do them. It's such a stressful thing. Then don't. But offer the way for your customers to order those items. Now, my customers are amazing and they always say, hey, I saw this is out. When can I order it? Because I want to get it through you. And I will give them all the information. If it's one that I'm not going to be up for or I'm going to be out of town, I'll tell them, hey, I can try to get on there, but I'm going to be busy on that particular day, but I can give you the link so you can order directly from it at the time it releases, and I'll send you even a reminder text. Some of the other things, maybe you aren't real big on hockey, but we have hockey warmers out. But your customers, you may have a niche of customers that love hockey and didn't know. They may have only seen you put football because football's your jam, but hockey is not. It's okay. Every single thing that Scentsy releases does not need to be your bread and butter. But you need to leave it out basically as condiments for your customers. So maybe you don't like mayonnaise, but if you have people over, you're going to offer mayonnaise if you're having hamburgers because there may be somebody there that needs mayonnaise. So you offer it. You may not put it front and center, but it's going to need to be there. You need to make sure that you are checking with customers. If you had a customer that was consistently ordering over and over and over and they kind of stopped and you forgot to follow up with them, check back with them and just say, hey, I noticed that you haven't been interacting in the group, and I noticed that it's been a while since you ordered this wax. Did you have a problem with your last order? Was there something I can help you with? You may find out that they lost their job. You may find out that maybe they found out that they were allergic to a certain scent, or they ran out of cotton cleanups and they didn't know where to order them from and they didn't know how to tell you. So you following up with your customers is not about, I need a sale. It is about making sure your customers are taken care of. So your front loading basically is synonymous with following up. It's checking on those customers, because if they can't order on the first of the month and they really wanted the Jack warmer and it's still available when they get paid on the 15th and the 20th, do you not think I'm not going to go ahead and send them a message and be like, hey, I know you're about to get paid, but guess what? It's still available. I just wanted to let you know, if you're still interested, shoot me a message. This is how much it'll be on the day that you get paid. And if it's still available, I will order and get it shipped out to you like instantaneously. That is amazing customer service, because you're not only thinking about them, you're also making sure that you are watching out for them on the items that they like. Now, are you going to be able to check with every single customer, every single time, all the time? No. But that's where you can come up with a check off list or a Trello board, or you're making sure you're going through your workstation and you're doing it repetitiously. That means you're creating a system, which are small steps repeated over and over and over, becomes a system. It's something that you're doing consistently over and over and over. Now, do systems need to be worked? Yes. If you're not doing your system and you're tweaking it every single time, then that's still a system, because you still have some steps that you're continuously doing. Maybe you're adding something or taking something out because maybe it's not working. But you want to make sure that you're giving it enough time. Guys, if the first time I put a reel on there to Instagram or Facebook and no one liked, commented, did anything with it, and I just stopped working, I wouldn't have gotten some of the sales that I got. I wouldn't be where I'm at now. Guys, if I waited and I took the first no that I ever got, which was from my mom on Scentsy, if I had just stopped dead in my tracks because she said no, where would I be at right now? I was like, okay, let me know what you need. My mom doesn't buy every month. My mom basically buys when she runs out of stuff. And then she's like, hey, by the way, I'm completely out of this. Now, occasionally she will ask me, because we'll be having a conversation of how my month is going in Scentsy. And she'll be like, I need to put an order in because I am almost out of this, this, and this. And then we'll put an order in. But that's about it. Like, I don't have a lot of family members that are buying from me. I don't expect them to buy from me all the time. I just expect them not to buy from anybody else. So that's one thing to think about, is that you want to make sure that you're consistently helping your customers and you're putting them first. It doesn't matter what they buy. It doesn't matter how much they buy. It is how you make them feel when they do buy. Guys, if they wanted to, they can buy from any one of us. If you don't make them feel special, someone else is going to. If you are starting to feel overwhelmed, scattered, you're forgetting what days or stuff are released, then you need to start setting up a reminder to check your news tab every day. Every day. Once you start doing it, even though stuff isn't released every day, at least you're checking it every day. You want to make sure you start to get into that. Now, right now is the busiest time, and it's going to feel overwhelming because they're not just putting 1 or 2 things out there. Sometimes there's 5 new news tabs. Sometimes there's 20. Sometimes they're not just on Thursdays, they're on the first of the month. Sometimes they throw it in there because there's a holiday that comes up. Or, you know, when the Queen of England passed away, they moved things and they updated the news tab. So you want to make sure that you are coming up with systems that right now in the busiest time, you can start implementing. So when it slows down, then you can start to perfect it and start getting better at it. So that way next season, when you hit fall and winter, you already know the things that you need to do. When there's 2 different things on pre-orders. There's a pre-order that Scentsy does, that Scentsy requires a deposit. Then it has to be done through your website only. And then the customer has to redeem, or you as a consultant has to redeem through your website. Then there is the pre-order that you as a consultant could do for your customers for things that you know that will be releasing. So I do pre-orders for anything. The minute that I find out something is being released, I let them know they can get on my pre-order list. I have either, normally it's some kind of event tab in my phone that if someone says it, I add them to it. So that way I can follow up with everybody, give them prices, totals, and I can get everything set up in my workstation in the orders tab. Now, the other ones like the Cinderella Castle that everybody had to purchase earlier this year to reserve them a warmer. Now, those are guaranteed. Right now, the redemption was supposed to start in October, but it started in August because we received the warmers early. Now is the time for your customers to redeem them. So you check with them every month or so as the redemption, while they still have time. Now, note that the Cinderella warmers need to be redeemed by the end of December. So you need to start checking with them because they will lose their deposit if they decide not to purchase the Cinderella warmer. So those are the 2 different options on pre-orders and kind of the definitions. So when someone wants to get on a pre-order, you have to know that if it's not a Scentsy redemption option to go onto the website, then it is up to you to follow up with your customers. It's up to you to collect money. It's up to you to make sure that they get their product. That's what I have today for your front loading. I will have another video that I'll be coming up later on that talks about the 3 legs of success and how to get high PRV. So stay tuned for that video. Love you guys.